was sitting down under a tree. He said, Lord God, I want you to help me with a big, big word a tourist tell me. The man say saying it other place is unique, but it sound to me like he was talking Greek. So tell me, God, and a different thing. When the man say unique, what he mean? And here how I tell him, only in St. Christopher, in Tabernacle, a bad man hold up the police station. Only in St. Christopher, the sergeant and all jump the window and run. Only in St. Christopher, the man out and bail, walking round with a gun. And all the people in Tabernacle dare not speak. So a situation like this is unique. Power! I wanna feel him. He say, Lord God, you should be a king. You teach monarch and start it how to sing. You have such an excellent memory and a mind like a dictionary. Your little explanation is so clear. Once again, my brain is now in gear. So one more time, give me a beat of the proper meaning of the word unique. And here I tell him, only in St. Christopher, I just say how we disappointed with our age. Only in St. Christopher, an ex-judge views a jury finding a killer guilty. The case or you could leave the country. You will never get the justice that you seek. So a legal system like this is unique. Bye-bye. Every sensible man must agree with you. The word unique in every case displays. So tell me now and proceed with care. Come close to me and whisper in the air. If think it is so unique for you, do we have a prime minister that is unique too? And here I tell him, only in St. Christopher, prime minister reaching late and he works with those who come early. Only in St. Christopher, he gets up on all Fool's Day and he suddenly fire my king. Only in St. Christopher, he ain't got no explanation to give to nobody. But if he doing all this to prove that he is not weak, then a prime minister like ours is unique. I want to feel you. You feel me? He say I should be in politics. things around here would get fixed. I say I think I am doing much more good to sell poor people reasonable food. But he come by me shop and we had a beer to celebrate Christmas and New Year. But he start up again about this word unique. So one more time I had to speak, and hear how I tell him. Only St. Christopher, quarter pound of onion campaigning day. Only St. Christopher, the other fella definitely tipsy. Only St. Christopher, Lindsay waiting for them anytime they're ready. And all the time this country sailing up the creek. That tourist fella was right. We unique. Bye-bye. Ay, ay, ay.
Sound of the man Lord Cut there. He said our beloved federation is very unique. I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here in the Republic of St. Paul, St. Kitts. Yes, it's Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon. That's November the 6th. Just got out of election session there, the US of A elections, and that was mass. My good people, we have our own issues here in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, and I can assure you, the 99 problems that we have here in St. Kitts Nevis, none of it involve the Donald nor the good US of A. But there's a lot to speak about this evening. There's a lot to update on, and I look forward to the conversation with you online viewers this evening. But just before we get into the conversation, let me just drop this clip for you folks who might be just surfing the web and bump into us and wants to know what this program is about. Is your boy DJ Mauricio coming to you live and direct from the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. So let me drop this quick ad and let you know what this program is all about. Stand by.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Mauricio's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and a candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Mauricio, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Mauricio. Log on.
Yes, you heard it. That's DJ Mauricio podcast here every Wednesday evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I know we have daylight saving time in the US of A, so the US of A, the New York area to be exact, would be some 1 hour behind us, and the LA area where my son is would be some 4 hours behind us. But in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, we are on time. 6 p.m. Let's take a quick run across there to our sister island, Nevis, and see what my boy Carbo have to tell us about what's taking place there at his venue.
Carbo's, located at Fountain Village in Nevis, is the go-to spot for your Saturday treats. Tantalize your taste buds with his delectable Carbo's Delicacy Goat Water. Or if you prefer some soul food, then Cabo's fungi and fish is definitely the way to go. Call ahead and reserve at 869-663-9694. Then make your way over to Cabo's and enjoy the vibrant atmosphere while you savor your delicacy. Cabo's, we are not changing, we are only improving.
Food all over, food all over. You got the food all over.
Yes, Carbo definitely have the food all over Nevis. And my good people, Carbo is available to provide you his delicatessen for any special occasion. So feel free to reach out to Carbo and let him know DJ Marisha sent you. Now let's take a quick listen to my girl sister Carmen of Carmen Caterers.
Girl Sandra, you know where you can find nice fresh local food 7 days a week, one provision and all kind of thing. Girl, where? Right down there by Shellings, by Carmen Catering Services. Girl, she opposite the bus stop. Girl, and she also cater for weddings, parties, anything you want to cater for, funeral and all. Girl, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy the food. And she also selling bites and Sundays. Opposite the car shop, right down the main road. Girl, you could call 665-1494 or 663-6005 to order your food or go and pick up your food. Girl, the food will be finger licking and you get your money worth. You ain't want nothing better than that.
You heard that, right? Sister Carmen is there over in Boyd Village there in the bus stop every Sunday from 12 noon until about 5 p.m. And you can get your lovely food there, lovely lunches. And I can tell you, she knows her stuff. So you just check Carmen there in Boyd Sundays from 12 noon to 5 p.m. and Monday to Saturday, down at the West Ferry Terminal there in downtown Bass there. Just let her know DJ Marisha sent you. Okay, let me hear what my boy, Brother Malvern Gums of the Spectrum Band in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands have to say to us.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Right there, you don't move that dial. Well, my good people, we have so much to fill in this little 2-hour session this evening. I tried to make sure that I am here on time, right on time, without any kind of interruption. So there's a track there that I was coming in my head from last week, because I think some people seems to forget that we have our motto there, country above self. I think they seems to forget that. So I decided I want to drop this track this evening, coming from the late King Swallow out of Antigua. You know, he have a very lovely track there. He says, "My country first and then man." And I've been humming that all weekend, because some people seem to be thinking about themselves and not the country. So I want to bring us back to a little reality. So for all your citizens and for all your politicians out there, we're going to drop this track, then we're going to get into Dwyer Astafan's current commentary right on the 6 o'clock hour. And believe me, it's going to be mass this evening. So let's take a quick listen to my partner there, the late great King Swallow.
I am not here to ridicule, not and show the world where you stand. I never sing anti-government song and cross the country where I belong. It is my country first and then man. Yep, 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 yep.
Yes, you sink its navies first and then man. Who don't like it? Tough. But that is how the way the DJ roll. We came into this federation from birth and enjoying the hard work and sacrifice of the people that came before us. We were supposed to be a loving community, but some people find it to be selfish, taking advantage of people and their powers and authorities. And we're going to break it down this evening, you know. Whether some of them like it or not, we will have that conversation. But before we get into that conversation, let me give you a quick listen to my boy there, the man, Brother G.A. Dwyer Astafan's commentary for today, Wednesday, November the 6th. So take a quick listen to Brother G.A. Dwyer Astafan.
Greetings. I usually prepare this commentary 2 or 3 days ahead, but I decided to wait for this one until the results of the US presidential and congressional elections were known. So I just knocked up this, and it will be brief. Donald Trump has now been elected president of the United States again, having won in 2016 and lost in 2020. And he has not only won the electoral college vote, but he has also won the popular vote. So nobody can question that he is indeed the favorite of the majority of people of the United States to be their president. A lot of people in the United States, whether they be white, black, Latino, Oriental, or whatever else, whether they be racist or not, vaxxers or anti-vaxxers, or anything else, they love him. They say that he's not a politician, and they love him for that. They say that he says what he feels, that he has taken on and will now again take on the Washington establishment, the swamp, and straighten them out on behalf of the ordinary man and woman in the United States. And they love him for that, and place great hopes in him for that, giving him a second chance to do that. They say that he was victimized by the deep state, wrongly charged, wrongly convicted, used as a victim of a weaponized justice system, and all of that. And now he will put an end to his own victimization. A number of them rejected the liberal gender culture and this whole woke thing, and many of the religious right saw and see Trump as God's chosen candidate and leader for them through what they see as a moral dilemma through which America is presently passing. They say that they have more confidence in him when it comes to handling a crisis and lifting the economy and their individual situations. They say that he will focus on America and its interests and be less concerned with what happens in the rest of the world. They are supporting his isolationist argument, America first. They say that too many foreigners have been allowed to enter the United States, taking jobs from Americans, committing all manner of crime, even eating people's pet animals, and coming from islands that are piles of garbage sitting in the sea. And they said Trump will stop that. They said that he is for the small man. They see him as a strong character and the only man who can prevent the Third World War from happening. Now there are other people who voted for him, although they might not like him personally and might not like the way he behaves and the things he says. But they believe that things are so bad with them and the country that those elements of character are not so important in choosing a president once the person can get the job done for them. And they say he can do a better job on the economy. They say that they were better off under his presidency between 2016 and 2020. So they have now brought him back without a doubt to the office of the presidency to protect them, to redeem them, and to make America great again. Most of these people, whatever their ethnicity and social or economic station in life, are, I'm sure, good people who simply want a better life for themselves and, as they see it, a better America. And for them, or at least most of them, an America which does not have to abide by global environmental protection practices at the expense of jobs. And Trump, by his own words, has said, we can't be bothered with those things, these environmental things that they talk about. We can't be bothered with what might happen in 200 years. And indeed, according to Trump, there's no global warming. In fact, there's global cooling. And they believe that Trump is the harbinger of a new American prosperity and supremacy. More jobs, more homes, reduced inflation, reduced cost of living, greater opportunities, making America great again. For many of them, Trump's warmth for Russian leader Putin and other dictators, his less than enthusiastic support for NATO, his encouragement to Israeli leader Netanyahu to finish the job and kill off the Palestinians, his disdain for Puerto Rico and other S-hole countries, his racist remarks, his enjoyment of insulting and disrespecting women are not game changers. They love him. And those who don't love him still believe that he is the only one, the only choice they had to usher them out of their present misery. So most American voters are waking up this morning happy. But that is only one part of the explanation for his resounding victory in yesterday's election. Another part of the explanation is the desire of voters to change the status quo, to reject the Biden agenda and whatever remnants of it that Kamala Harris might have carried forward. They want, they say, to move on. And of course, another part of the explanation is that many Americans are not comfortable with a woman as their president. Worse so, a black woman. And even worse, a black woman seeking the presidency just 8 years after a black man left it. Enough of this black. So Trump is back. What can we expect? I won't go into detail, but I'll say this. Let us observe how things go. And let us, 1 year from now, give an assessment, a sober and objective assessment of the situation under Trump's new presidency. My sense is that by his words and deeds, by his actions and policies, the people who voted for him will get buyer's remorse, or most of them. Some will be too guilty to admit it, and that there will be great pressure and tension in the United States, if not in the world. I believe, and I'm not trying to be a predictor of doom and gloom, I'm just telling you what I believe, and I could be wrong. I believe a sense of frustration and peril will exist and even rise to fever pitch. And I believe that in one way or another, Trump will be undone by his own actions, his own words, his own policies, and punished by his own supporters and backers. I say this because there's no better teacher than experience. And even though we human beings may have been foolish time and time again, there usually comes a time when realization takes hold and corrective measures have to follow. Thomas Jefferson, America's third president, once said, God grant that men of principle will be our principal men. Let us see what the Americans think a year from now about Trump in the context of that comment. Principle was not of high currency in this election. And it will get worse, is my prediction. Not wishfully, not wishing bad for anybody, but I can't see it as evolving any differently. Another wise man once said, divide and rule, the politician says. But unite and lead is the watchword of the wise. Trump has been perhaps the main provoker, instigator, and perpetuator of division in America, to the point where the country is divided to its very core, and the divider cannot at the same time be the uniter. Another wise man once said, I am more afraid of an army of 100 sheep being led by a lion than by an army of 100 lions being led by a sheep. Think of this a year from now. And this one by another person far more wise than I am. This question she put to leaders that they must ask themselves. Am I building people, or am I building my dream and using people to build my dream? And finally, Dwight Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, said, you do not lead by hitting people over the head. That is assault, not leadership. Reflect on these things over the next year as Trump's presidency unfolds. All I can...
Good people, online viewers, that was Dwyer Astafan's commentary for today, Wednesday, November the 6th. I have my boy online here with me. Brother Benter, tap your screen, open your mic, please. Welcome to the Digimari Show experience. One day following the local elections there in the Virgin Islands, one day following the general election of the United States of America. How are you doing, my brother?
Well, my brother, I want to say good evening to you listening and viewing audience as well. And as well as those individuals I've met on the ground in St. Kitts. Very hospitable. I must say that I'm listening to so many things. It's one of those things this evening where it's with a heavy heart this evening. More so, I want to thank those individuals who realized and understood as a candidate for an office within the Virgin Islands. I was pulled from my shores, or the shores of the Virgin Islands, and many assignments in different places. And when certain duties called, I have no choice but to move. And as such, with the elections, my campaign team, they were very distraught we were here, but because I figured and I've sensed that the dispatch was necessary. It was one that requires being our brothers keepers within the Caribbean, and with so many other things afoot, I had no other choice but to pick one of the other and move to serve the best I can. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and Brother Marisha here, I want to extend a sincere appreciation to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and to other individuals within the diaspora who have met me, came and met me on the island as we went through several discussions. I want to thank them for hailing from the different Caribbean islands in advance for some of the other individuals of responsibilities and having robust meetings and discussions for the past several days that I was there. And it was one that really opened eyes for many. And Brother Marisha, it's one of those things where you're a son of the Caribbean. You're a son from families that came from nothing in many ways, where your lives growing up was more in hauling water with a bucket, bathed in an outhouse, use an outhouse, and you learned the dynamics of from whence you came or what you had to go through. But I would say that where those who flew in to meet with me, and it's your beautiful hotels on the island of St. Kitts, it was one of those things where it was, for me, if many would travel in from elsewhere to meet with me, it was sort of difficult to do the same with members of the government of St. Kitts to another level. But I say this though, as I listen to Mr. Asafan and his commentaries and the direction he's taken it, I know tonight you want to divest into certain segments of what was the discussions. And I would say tonight I've been pretty much removed from this St. Kitts Nevis conversation and on to others. But tonight will be quite interesting as we divest, like I said, into some of the things to bring some more awareness. And I say that with the new president in office, not sworn in as yet, but every secretary of the state and every department of the state are now leaning towards the incoming president of the United States for direction going forward. And it's normal, that's the way it's done. And with that, shufflings are made And with that, my dispatch and a mission has since changed and to focus elsewhere. So good night, Brother Marisha, and your listening audience. I am here with you, and let's see how much I can say tonight.
Okay, Brother Benter. I see you did not get into. I thought I would not have to lead you down that road, but since you did not, as I have said to you in the past, every week we have new folks online, new viewers. So if you can just give a quick synopsis of who is Mr. Oakland Benter.
Sure. My name is Oakland Benter, and I'm an ex-senator of the U.S. Virgin Islands, ex-chief of police, overseer of CARICOM, and the guard to the gate of many of the Caribbean issues by way of assignment. And of course, a cleaner, a mediator, which is part of what my role is nationally and internationally. And I ran for the Senate of the U.S. Virgin Islands within the election that was held on November 5th. And as I was saying, duty called where I had to separate myself from the U.S. Virgin Islands during the height of an election, where I was not a part of many forums as I began to look at the other issues throughout our OCS and CARICOM nation in an attempt to quell matters that will be plaguing us even more in depth. And as such, I came in the 10th place in an election in the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is one that I had heard of some 20 plus other senators or individuals who ran for that office. But in that, as an individual who understands and building nations and solving issues with great solutions, I was vested and tasked with an assignment to reach out to our other Caribbean islands in finding a way to come to a consensus, camaraderie, and solutions, and to provide other leeways of assistance offered by other nations to become part of what we call diversification, and through what you call the agencies who would provide what you call subsidies, enabling countries to grow without losing track of what your growth aperture was as far as what industry you're in, to diversify to other industries within a market that brings the quality and niches of employment to regions. So I'm here with you this evening, and I thank everyone who had a family in the U.S. Virgin Islands that probed them to vote for me. It's a shock for many in the Virgin Islands without a voice on the street, in the media, in the platforms and forums. I wasn't present for just about all of them. And of course, where I was placed is a shocker for many people, for the thousands of people who voted for me. At the end of the day, though, my assignment is something different going forward. And it's going to be something that, more than anything else, where other nations are really grabbing it. I can't say the same for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis this evening.
Thank you, Brother Benter. And like I said, welcome. Tonight, there's a lot to speak about. And I'm pretty sure by now, I'm no stranger to being a straight shooter. So before we get into the conversation about St. Kitts Nevis, some sad news there in Antigua. I understand there's a death of one of their MPs, whether Assad Michaels. Are you in a position to speak on that?
Yes. Immediately upon that whole endeavor, of course, dispatch of many of the individuals that we have in different places was done, and by way of in-depth investigation, we were able to not only assist behind the scene, but of course the individual of whom committed the offense, enabling them to come forward, and the individual is now in custody.
Okay. I saw something today in the news that the FBI has now taken up investigation in that particular case. So when the FBI gets involved in stuff like this, that quick in the Caribbean, then we know some music has been played.
Of course, Marisha, this. I can say some things, but I can't say
I
many
understand.
things.
I understand. I will say what I have to say. You don't have to say nothing. I don't speak for you, and you don't speak for me. So
Thank you.
I will speak to my people and we move forward. So my good people, I'm going to start by way of update. I love to keep my online viewers updated, because if we don't keep our people updated, we might as well forget about this podcast. I think by now I have said it often enough that folks are aware that this podcast started on the 8th of November 2020 when the former Prime Minister decided to lock my backside down in quarantine and said, who out stay out to in tap in. And if you come in this country, no exceptions, 14 days in your ass lockdown. And if you get a test and nothing is clean, you're going back again and whatever. Well, as a result of that, here we are. I decided to start this little podcast to keep me busy for 14 days. At the end of the 14 days, you, the online viewers, decided that I have to continue this podcast. So come the 8th of November, which is in a couple of days, we'll be celebrating 4 years strong. Now, speaking of updates, my good people, I know some of you might not like to hear me. I don't want to hear it. All you have to do, silence your device, lock off your device, whatever you have to do if you don't want to hear me. Because until I get some results, until I hear from the powers that be in our beloved federation, I'm going to come here weekly and I will be updating you, the general public, and where we are and the disappearance, the founding, the burial, and the status of Brother Cance Edwards. As we sit here this evening, the 6th of November, it's been 96 days since Cance went missing. 96 days. And the 1st of August, count for yourself. I might be a day off or here or there, I do not know. But check from August 1st to present, 2024. It's been 96 days since the Lord Black went missing. He was found on the 9th of August with much involvement from yours truly to organize that search. It's been 88 days since he has been found. 88 days. Not a week, not a month. 88 days. It's been 76 days since his funeral took place. More than 2 months. 76 days. Yet, I am yet to hear anything coming out of the police. Last thing I heard, they are still investigating. What is there to investigate? Are there any laws on the books in St. Kitts when it comes to negligence, criminal negligence? I'm going to give it to all you because some of you might have amnesia, dementia, loss of memory. This gentleman was placed in a home by his family, I understand, some 4 years ago, over 4 years. The reason for him to be placed in that home is to have a competent person care for this person. This family paid monthly for this care. So when you're going to put a big man, an elderly, over 70 in the hands of someone, and you are paying them monthly to take care of that person, and they're going to tell you they lose a whole man for 9 days. They ain't lose a 25 cents in some bush, you know. They ain't drop a quarter down the road. This home lost a whole man. Found 9 days later, dead in the hills of Saddlers Mountain. The police are investigating still after 96 days. Are they investigating criminal negligence? What is the investigation that is taking this long? The family wants to know. DJ Marisha wants to know. The general public wants to know. We need answers. Throughout this process, we already realize and acknowledge that for whatever reason, this federation does not have any policies or guidelines in place for these homes. And what we expect, what DJ Marisha expect at the end of this, and I keep saying, don't let go into the new year, you know. Do not let this conversation go into the new year. Because if this conversation have to go into the new year, it's not going to be a pretty conversation for the people that's involved, the governments that is currently running this country, and the health ministry that is responsible for these homes. It's going to be hell to pay if some answers does not come before the new year. I'm putting it out there because it's just the way it is. This is unacceptable. This amount of time lapse, and this gentleman's family cannot get any response from the police up to this date. 96 days since he went missing, 88 days since he was found, 76 days since he was buried. This is beyond ridiculous. This is incompetence. This is criminal act in itself. And I am putting this at the foot of the Prime Minister, you know. I am putting this matter at the foot or the feet of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the Minister of National Security, which means in charge of the police. So if the police command, the high command, cannot do his work, Mr. Prime Minister, you got to do yours. Otherwise, you're going to look incompetent just like them. Mr. Prime Minister, you are the Minister of Health. I know for a fact that 3 letters was written to the Ministry of Health, to the acting PS. I know there are some people out there who might got friends in high places and might be giving you advice. Ignore Marisha and his noise. This ain't about Marisha, you know. This is about the people of this federation. People are concerned. People are paying attention. People want answers. Take a look at what happened in the USA yesterday. We have a convict elected as president. Pay attention. When the people speaks, people power is what it is. We got a former prime minister punching week after week after week. You hear people chanting, we want him back. You can't vex with them. Because if the people give you an opportunity, Mr. Prime Minister, to do the right thing and take us on the right path, and we hear all of these things about fake marriages, we campaign on boundary change. We hear about how much millions missing from development bank, and amongst God knows what else. Those pillars of good governance and everything else that we campaign on, the people paying attention. The people are paying attention. The Ministry of Health have a responsibility to respond to the family of Mr. Edwards. They have email addresses. They don't have to mail any letters. Acknowledge receipt of these letters and what you guys are doing. This is not about this just one home in Sadlers. This is about fixing a health system throughout the federation that should have been done years ago. But it looked like the corruption and the money from the CBI passport and whatever is money that some of them was putting in the overseas account was more important than taking care of the people business. Well, DJ Marisha was not activated before, you know. I was not activated for this role. But since the former Prime Minister decided to lock me down in quarantine, and this program was born, and we are now in a different era with a change of government, well, what I was talking about that was wrong under the previous administration, if it was wrong then, it got to be wrong today. So I'm not going to shut up I'm not going to just shut up because somebody figure, well, oh, you're cussing the Prime Minister. No, I'm not cussing Prime Minister. I'm not cussing government. I've said it time and time again. If it's one supporter the Prime Minister going to be left with at the end of the day, is this young man here. Unless he gives me reason to do differently. So far, I can say to you, if it's one individual the Prime Minister will be left with to be his support, is this young man. But there's too much nonsense going on that need to be addressed. So these actors that you have acting, let them do their work. These functionaries that you have there are either not functioning, are functioning for their own benefit and their friends' benefit. Do something about it. Because you will be held accountable for the action, Mr. Prime Minister. The Labour government will be held accountable for the actions. DJ Marisha is not spin bowler. I love cricket, but I bowl medium pace. You understand? I am at my last. When I say last, I am at my last with some of the bullshit that is going on. A few weeks ago, I came across some external information. My ears are always at the ground, always cracking to see what's going on when it comes to this good country and what may affect our Prime Minister and his team. And I came across some news that was very mind-boggling for me. Because when the individual said to me, I understand you love your Prime Minister. I understand you love your country. But what happens if I tell you your Prime Minister is corrupt and his corruptive actions will be affecting the country and the people of St. Kitts Nevis? I say, well, if you can prove this, bring it on. Because if it's one thing I'm going to stand for, is to campaign to get rid of corruption and welcome it under a new administration because I support them. I try reaching out to the Prime Minister on numerous occasions, without luck. I try reaching out to the AG without luck. The gentleman on screen is one of the individuals that I employed to look into some matters for me. And he may not be able to go into details tonight. So I'm not going to ask him to go into details. He could speak for himself and what he can speak on. But I'm going to speak on what I know and how I feel about the situation. After weeks of trying to get an audience with the Prime Minister, I finally got an audience with the Prime Minister last Friday evening. I'm not going to get into everybody who was in that meeting. But what I can say to you, good citizens, what I heard and what I know for a fact that transpired that have this lovely federation caught up in all kind of mess by individual that was elected to take care of this country and represent us. I have a problem with it. When I sat in that room and listened to the conversation, I look left and I look right. I look up to the sky and I look down to try and process what I'm hearing. And there's a saying, they said, when school children talk, they might not bring the full story, but something in there is true. Well, I know in this conversation, something in there is true. And I would say this, I am quite satisfied with the Prime Minister's approach to the situation after he heard what he heard. I support the Prime Minister unless something else or other stuff comes out to change my mind. I am in full agreement with the Prime Minister and his approach to this whole situation. Because you see, prior prime ministers, prior ministers of government, their action did some harm to our beloved Federation. And I want to shout out MSR Media, you know. I really want to shout out MSR Media. And I want to identify the gentleman. I don't know if I can pronounce his name properly, but Mr. Felipe Martinez, I want to thank you on behalf of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. For months and maybe years, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis have been asking about our CBI, the Citizen by Investment Program. We also was asking about the sugar money. Can't get no straight answers. People who was in the former administration, the former prime minister, the former ambassador to the United Nations, they said they had access to how much passport application or units were sold, but they refused to give the people the information. They want Prime Minister Jew to do it. And it was a back and forth and a ring and roll to get some responses from that. But with this RICO case that was filed in the US by the MSR, we are now in possession of some information that brings some light to where we are. And my people for St. Kitts and Nevis, we're not in any good place here, you know. We're in a very bad place at this moment because of the actions of certain people. And let's not lose sight that since the government changed, you know, Prime Minister just signed off on some of those, whether citizenship, certificates, units, whatever they want to call them. Prime Minister Jew, I understand, sign off on some. So Prime Minister Jew and the AG might be right up in the car as well. And that's what my concerns was about last week when I heard the conversation on the wire, that I need to know that our Prime Minister understands what is happening externally and that he prepare himself for whatever to come. Because something coming, my good people. Something is coming. I cannot tell you what is coming, but something is coming. I think it's about a day or two ago, a document came into me on my phone telling me that the MSR Media won another step of a case. The courts of New York now gave permission or gave an order for the bank accounts of some people, operatives of St. Kitts Nevis, including former prime ministers, to release their bank accounts to MSR Media. It get deeper, it get dirtier. And I bring this information to you, my good citizens, because I'm not going to bring all the information that I have. I just want to give you all the information that I can give to the general public without creating a problem for our beloved Federation, so that nobody could say later, well, Marisha did not say this before. But if Marisha had this information before, why didn't he say anything? No. What I got, I'm going to give it to you now. It is up to Prime Minister Joe and his team to speak to the Federation, not DJ Marisha. But I was a part of a meeting that was very, very serious. I thank the Prime Minister and his team for taking the call and giving us the audience. Big Lies have a saying, things not going well. Well, DJ Marisha going to tell you all tonight, all is not well. St. Kitts Nevis, from my understanding, is not being sued by MSR. From what I understand, MSR is not demanding any monies from the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. MSR want the compensation though. The idea for this case to be filed is because MSR, somewhere along the line, felt that they was wronged in some way and they want to recoup their losses. So, in my view, I could be wrong. What MSI is asking for from whom could be looked at as a settlement. It could be looked at as a shakedown. It could be looked at as anything, because it is not like they file a case and not looking for anything at the end of the day. MSR, with this RICO case, is looking for some kind of revenue for their loss. And I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm not going to go any deeper. I'm going to give my partner, colleague, brother there, Benter, an opportunity if you want to piggyback or correct me in anything that I say. Because guess what? When DJ Marisha running on 100 miles dash, you know, he keep going. So maybe I skip something, misstep. So brother Benter, your input if you have any.
I would say, you know, when I visited the office of the Prime Minister, I must say, the camaraderie of all of the employees who worked for the administration, in a sense, from the downstairs going upstairs, I was very impressed. I'm being impressed with how the staff was very coordinated and the respect that they had. It gave me a rise because I have to submit reports places. But it gave me a rise to realize I can't go into a discussion and don't think about the laymen who are trying so hard to survive in the country. I couldn't go into a discussion and submit a document elsewhere without really feeling the pulse of the people as I've been throughout the island, right around as well as into Nevis. But I said to myself, while I sat in the corridors and waited for a couple hours, one would be surprised to see that I sat for a couple hours someplace to wait to go into a meeting, especially when you're trying to save other people from something. But I found by sitting and listening to the conversations by members who work for the administration, as they're preparing their presentation for a meeting with the Prime Minister, I was very impressed. I was very impressed with the individuals who communicated with me in arranging along with yourself for this conversation. And as such, in sitting with the Prime Minister, I find him to be a very, very eloquent young man. Of course, people wonder how old I am, right? But I find him to be a very eloquent young man. And I find the AG as well, because many would push themselves to try to get things done. But I found in trying to work certain things a certain way, I won't say being naive, but is whether they believe. Between the government and the MSR group, I stood and listened as I heard the AG pronounce a sort of delivery in my direction, where I looked at him and he knows for whom not he sits before. Yes, I'm in that office. They knew not for whom they start with. And I began to explain myself as a Caribbean man as well. And thank God it was me who was sent in. After Mr. Marisha brought some things to my attention, many things were done to get there with approval, with decisions, and with what we call other assistant factors that can be for the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But presentations were made, and I think more than anything else, when you speak with individuals that don't know what you know, and they believe that they may know that you don't know about certain things as well, you speak out of character, out of content. But I believe more so in assignments, we try not to cripple governments. The government is continuous, and just the mere fact of the people of the nation, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, I was so overjoyed to spend time with them and realize they're good people. They're good citizens, hardworking, dedicated. You know, one of the things that captured me was the young lady, I think she might have been the receptionist, as she'd offered some beverages, as she realized there were so many people waiting. And I was very impressed to see there were so many people who were there to see the Prime Minister of all walks of life of the Federation, and that they knew they would have been given an opportunity to sit with him. That tells me a lot. That tells me that whomever taught him or worked with him before had the ability to teach and leave an impression that some would follow the same. And tonight, late this evening, when I got my new assignment, it was one of those things where I felt so hurt in trying to get something done that I've been able to do for other people, other countries. And like I said, there were people who flew in to meet me, who went from different diaspora, who came to St. Kitts to sit with me, to go through, because they've known of me for decades. And here comes a younger generation where when you look at someone, you begin to stereotype a profile without really taking the time to listen. And for one to sit in an office and wait out of respect, and more so for you, Mr. Marisha, who really began this whole endeavor with me, having contact with all these other people, between the Federation and the MSR issue, I am now in the middle, or was in the middle, to bring some semblance of correction to the vaccine issues. And as such, it would be one of those things that they look at other places and names and different things was explained when I don't think they really understood that part of when this whole thing was being crafted as well for the Caribbean under the CBI program, that I was there. You know, it's sometimes we don't see our own people in the Caribbean to have the ability and the wherewithal to be in places and some of the what we're doing. China is now taking over the Caribbean. And as such, my role as it is, what I stand for and what I've tried to deliver, was that a nation of the United States is not going to stand idly by while these things are taking place. They're not going to play blind like they don't know and say we're going to wait for another 9/11. And that will not be one of those things going forward. And I speak firm tonight because one of those things that sometimes is hard is to teach your own a path forward. And as you know, made references and pointed where they can check and fact check and so forth and whatever have you. Donald Trump now is the president of the United States. And every Secretary of State and every segment of the rooms as far as the DEFCONs and individual in certain positions, meetings are going to be held. And I can assure the nations and all of the OECS countries, and me as a Caribbean person born on the island of Antigua, now placed in a position now to speak up and speak out in a different framework, it's not easy. I'm an individual who was the chief of police in the US Virgin Islands, and I arrested my own son. I want people to understand where I'm coming from. And having the tenacity to understand how things can go in another direction fast, because some of us think only unto ourselves. I say here tonight. The olive branch is still there, but at the same time, it may not be the same face that they will see to sit and talk with. And as things go forward, there will be some action taken. There will be some people who will face the wrath of what's to come. But then what this does is impacts the nation and its own constituents of the people of which each candidate submit to them that they are second to nobody in the world, and provided their confidence to the candidate to represent them accordingly. While there are others who are screaming in some people's ears, not to listen and not to hear, it creates another valley of other issues, because Trump will be sworn in a few months. But while they're sitting at the Joint Chiefs of Staff and meetings are being held, the United States of America, based on what's going on in the complete diaspora of the OECS, with all those individuals who've been able to get through into the Caribbean under different identities, where you can't identify a person by what they present to you and say his name is Lee Lang or Shi Shang or any name whatsoever, because you get information from another source that's plain you. So I said to the people of the Caribbean, the OECS nations, and there are many that are listening, and we've just realized that you have thousands of people on your podcast as listens. And through that, many who did over the years, over the months and so forth, and more so with me on your program. And there's a reason why I'm on your program, DJ Marisha. It's an outreach, really, in trying to do the introduction so that the people within this diaspora can listen and see if I make sense when I speak. But common sense will prevail. So, yes, I am still poised to set a standard that the people of the Caribbean are good people. And that's part of where my report is. They're very good people, hard working people who believe in governance and individuals who sit in position to represent them, that they will do right by them at all times. That they will not forsake them and take them down a road where they know themselves, but if they don't know, then that becomes an issue. Because this global market today, when espionage is beyond many control. And it is a fact that there are nations that are using different islands within the Caribbean, and they're building devices, like I said before. And the clock is ticking. The olive branch will be removed, and then actions will be taken. And it's not one that none of us wants to see, because America would not go through another 9/11. So within the back doors, and we are all neighbors within this hemisphere, this diaspora, we need now to not pay attention to what's in our back door also, or what's in our backyard also, and begin to apply what's necessary as a nation. I still have a hope before I do what I got to do as well too. I still have hope. I still believe that there is a wave of communication that still can be had. And as the depth of this, as you mentioned, as far as the banks of the United States of America, some of them are the major banks. And these are the banks that has been served with subpoenas where they have to provide banking information. And some would think that in the information that is there, some would think that, well, I don't have an account where anything can be seen, but you have trust accounts. And you have accounts over in the Middle East. You have accounts in other places. I just give it a word of caution. And some of the business transactions, of which maybe not the person within the office, but through family members and the backdoor operation. See, the thing about it is you can't fool a master of investigation. You can't fool a nation and think that because there's certain brains sitting at that helm and the top, which is the umbrella of your country, is the only umbrella that exists, because American umbrella has another shade. And with that, as far as you move forward, and as you know, Mr. Marisha, it's hard for you to pull things out of me as well. But tonight, because these documents are public, the MSR group, who really, really sounded the alarm to the United States and what's going on, as Mr. Marisha mentioned to me, and then of course I made some calls and began to check, and I got indoctrinated into so many things from my past, but trying to bring a medium so that we can educate our own people, because they really don't know, you know. They don't really know the danger they're exposing their own people to. What they know is what they're receiving based on finances. What they know is how they're enriching themselves. But the DEFCON of the United States, based on what's happening, is not going to be something that they lay idly by and allow for it to continue. So the banks of the United States, in transactions of many of these accounts, funds are being channeled from different entities under the CBI program to US banks. And they're US correspondence banks with the banks in different parts of the world. But these OCC banks, in the term that they use, these OCC banks have a responsibility. And the responsibility is to make sure that they pay attention to the transactions that are moving to the accounts and intercede into them to avert them from continuing under certain criteria federally. And they didn't. But funds were channeled through, and we have a significant amount of scientists, we have technicians, chemists of all sorts that came in under false name. And of course, everybody knows the United States of America have their own secret intelligence agency. So does some of these other nations. And when things begin to happen, they will put their hands up and say, well, that was St. Kitts, Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia, not the other entity that brought the fabric or the fabrication of these instruments closer to the United States under the version of a citizen by investment program. And the United States has one under the EB-5 program. Also, many of the things that's being looked at is when I had my meetings and I discussed, the Caribbean nations has fell under a spell where, yes, the United States of America really didn't step up and participated in assisting our neighbors or being our neighbors' keeper or brothers' keepers. So many programs of which the United States have engaged in throughout the world and other places, the Eastern Caribbean islands were not beneficiaries of those programs. And with that, a strong concentration now is and moving the support necessary for the humanitarian side of it under what we call human services within the agencies, affordable homes or homes like has been built in so many places free to residents that can grow education, healthcare, and the whole action that there is, and investors to the fact where smart city is a discussion. The embassy that's in Barbados right now, the US Embassy, there are also discussions on that and where or should it be placed somewhere else. But a lot needs to be done and a lot of work is still at hand. Don't know whether or not somewhere along the way that I will be the person of the face again. But I say that the other face that comes before you, take heed. Because it's not one of those things that you can say, I'm the master in command. You become the casualty of somebody's action. And casualties of war is not something that sits well when it comes to the people of whom entrusted you to serve on their behalf to keep them safe. So, Brother Marisha, I turn it back to you.
Yeah, I do not know if it's public knowledge, Brother Benter, so you should be able to go into it. There's a document, you should have it in your phone. It was filed on November 1st in regards to the matters there. The United States District Court, Southern District of New York, reapplication, Felipe Martinez, applicant, and against couple of folks here. Did you have that in your phone?
Oh, thank you. I see it here.
Okay,
you know, sure. And
it's public knowledge, so if you could just read it.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking at it. It is, and it sort of touched a little bit. I want the people to understand really more than anything else as we go forward that this whole MSR group and what they have done and continue to do in pressing the federal agencies of the United States has fast-tracked a lot of federal actions, US government actions, when it comes to what's going on that side of the world. And with that, this is now going to push, if this thing is not mediated, is going to push for what we call congressional hearings. And the documents, as far as what's there, is leading into the exposure of the failure of the US government in not paying attention to all that's going on here with who and what. But the opening of these accounts of individuals based on what the court has authorized for the MSR group to have their hands on the back door of the United States is wide open, that we need now to take the other step forward. And that document deals with who is who. And the who is who is very concerning and should be alarming to everyone. Because at the end of the day, the individuals of which opportunities were granted to and for, and how the transactions were moved throughout the world, sends to bear another matter that is not one that the people, the common man, is privy to when it comes to your leaders in government. And I think more so as you go forward, if we don't take the steps to correct them, the document, which is public, is a filing by the MSR group to the court to secure all of the banking information of many ministers throughout the Caribbean, the affiliates, past and present administrations, as far as their involvement or participation in an action of which, through a treaty between the United States and the OECS countries, through statements and testimonies given before the State Department of allegiance and actions to be taken of corrective measures, but yet action was still taken in other direction based outside of the presentation. It brings to bear whether or not that many would think, or they're thinking, that they're smarter than other nations, but the artillery that exists for protection, the systems that exist for detection, and the ability with a blow of a nostril to wipe out these small state islands for the safety of the United States is one that would not be thought about twice. So the document is public. I will yield for individuals to get up online and research it because it's posted. It must be court action. The MSR group has brought the federal government into almost ill repute, where in pushing for a congressional hearing, which is not too far away, as this continues, it's going to require the nations to come together and work with the United States, really. Anything short of that is an act of treason, terrorism, and it goes into all of the isms, because the trust in a treaty, the trust in presentation to the Joint Chief of Staff, even though you don't know, to the United Nations and to the State Department, of your camaraderie and ally affiliation, and on the actions of war against the nation, that you and us are all a part of this one team. But behind closed doors, you're doing something different that says something different, and have allowed for individuals who falls within the category of terrorism in the form of building devices where they don't even know is going on. All they see is what they're making, but not what they're doing. These are wars and plans that goes the way before you and I, our great-great-grandfathers, are born. The discipline to fact, to strategy, technique, and ability that we are not accustomed to. Because we're God-fearing people. We're trusting people. We believe in what we say we'll do on your behalf or for you and your family as well in perpetuity. That is really so. So let's readjust ourselves. And the readjustment means come to the tables. Some has already. It's sad that the others who had the better audience has not. But some has already. And fast tracking going forward today, right now. It's a monumental task for the countries, because what do you do with some that may be legal CBI investors as far as the program? And then those, how do you filter or sift them out? So there were things that was offered to some of the government, that there would be individuals assigned at no cost to the government, but to work along with the government to get it corrected. With the assistance of the strongest nation in providing all of the equipment, data, and employment of even local people within the island to be a part of it, but to fix it. One of the things that the country needs to do is collect all the data and your citizens in every aspect of what your shortfalls are, what are the areas that you're lacking in, and how some of these assistance that can be obtained can definitely assist. There's a window, and I don't know how long it's going to stay open, but with the Joint Chiefs of Staff, with all of this, the individual, as far as secretaries and so forth, who are in employment, everybody wanted to stay employed in a position, who are now working along with now the transitional team of the incoming president of the United States. And they are not going to say we're going to hold back on anything, because in presidency, whoever becomes president, like we did with Saddam Hussein, somebody wants to leave some sort of documentary of fame of action taken to safeguard our nations, our sovereignty, our freedom, our democracy, and all who falls within the line of trying to impugn harm. And the people within the diaspora one and the United States of America, it will change. Puerto Rico just voted for statehood through a referendum. And with the referendum, with the sudden command of the armed forces, which was once in vehicles, and understanding what it is today in emboldening as far as the submarines and many of other artilleries coming closer more so, I pray that the nations pay attention. And I'll turn it back over to you, Marisha. I know I said that I didn't get too deep, but I'm trying to keep it a certain way for many reasons.
Understandable. And understandable, sir. That is why I referred the document to you, because, you know, Marisha and Marisha are going to really giving you the full thing. And as I said, I would prefer the Prime Minister and the powers that be to speak to the nation and not Mr. Marisha. I don't dance around edges. I come straight to the point and present it as it is. But Mr. Benter, as I listen to you speak, you know, I am tearing up inside, because as I campaigned in 2020 and 2022, it would take a change of government for us to realize the corruption and everything that was taking place in our beloved federation. And that have came to pass. We had a song there, was a big hit, get rid of them. Get rid of all of them. But we got some revenants live over there in the cross the island there in Nevis, right? So we're not able to see the books across there. But here in St. Kitts, with what was released, and again, like I said, thanks to MSR for filing this case, some of the information that are coming out and the type of monies that pass through some of these people's hands. And today, the citizens of this country are still crying out. As I said, banks has been reaching out to people, giving them blood pressure. People dying from stress with the letters they get from these banks for outstanding debt. Stimulus after stimulus, they say, was presented out to the people. But even up to today, I'm talking to folks who do not know what that is about, because they never receive any help. So where did this money go? I think over the last couple of weeks, I've been saying to you, Brother Benter, and to the online viewers, that this COVID matter from 2020, I know monies came into the Federation. Monies was appropriated to help the citizens and the businesses alike. But the money never reached to the right person. And I said, people lose their homes, their houses, their bank accounts, they lose their taxes. People lose their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife. I don't know if you remember me telling you these things. Well, Brother Benter, I would like you to speak on this matter, because I saw something in the news there last week, if this is true. There's over 500 cases of divorce in our federation in the last 4 years. Give me your views on that.
Household, when it comes to family, if there's hardship, duress, and stress levied, and you go back to COVID-19, where families are looking for the support and ability to survive, where you have a government that has the ability to assist by subsidies, which were granted to just about every single country in the world, those within the poverty level as well, where families could have been subsidized in a way where wherever you worked before, whatever you've been paid before, that through the subsidies, you continue to receive it from the government in subsidy through the business of which you work, where the subsidy would be provided to the business owners and they continue to pay the payroll of the people who badly need it. When families begin to go away where they can't take care of each other, or the children as well, you have mass exodus and arguments within families. And when you have a country that sees that happening and you found a way where through the subsidies, you engulf yourself with the riches of those funds rather than disseminate it to your populace, this is something that went on all through the United States as well, where we had a lot of families who were destroyed as a result. But the kind words to many, in words only, don't pay the bill. So the government also, what they could have done through all of the, whether it was landlord or banks or whatever have you, they could have actually applied a moratorium, and through the moratorium, the subsidies arranged for payment of their mortgages, their rent, car note, and a system by alphabetical order within the supermarkets where whoever's name ends in A from A, and then A B or A R or S, as far as they would be the ones to be shopping this day or hours and help your people. But yes, in fact, because of that trend of things, our government failed to recognize that they had a responsibility to the people. A lot of domestic issues where husbands were home for hours more so than they're normally accustomed to as well. And restless because people are tuned to work or to invoke or involve themselves with others. Then you have the fights in homes where now people begin to stress. It's a mental issue, begin to rebut, retaliate against each other, not realizing that's what's going on because of what the government has allowed to take place. So yes, you're correct. The numbers are very high.
Very, very high and to higher. Another area that I have looked into, Brother Benter, and it's really amazing because I'm pretty sure folks always hear me speaking about my little baby girl. And in my young life out there, being an electrician, doing my thing, doing my promotion, doing my DJing, I was trying to make life, so I never had the opportunity. I took the opportunity to really spend time with my daughter and my son. Didn't have that luxury. But this little baby have shown me what it is to love and have that feeling and to see the care and love that a child shows you. Innocent, not transactional love, real love. And I enjoyed that. So coming into St. Kitts and going to these daycares and this preschool and looking at how these teachers take care of these kids and work with these kids, go through their sports day and stuff like that. I love to see how these kids react to these individuals and whatever. But I don't think that these preschools and daycares are getting enough support from the government or from the powers that be. It seems as though the farmer administration focused more so on paying criminals than taking care of the innocent citizens, the mom and pops, the single mom and pops of our beloved federation. And that is why you find that when I reach out to government to assist a particular daycare and cricket teams, cricketers who was able to run off to the under 15, under 17, under 19, I would say I give what I don't even have to help these areas because people contribute to assist me. But it comes a time where the well run dry and you only could give but so much and you still keep trying. But at the end of the day, Brother Benter, while we're on this subject, I really want to take the time out again to thank people like Brother Jeff Freights and Sons Enterprises there over in the Molineux area. The Freights Bakery there in Borio. Eustace Warner there of Warner's One Stop. Romeo Paris Pharmacy. Smart Fit, Sister Gloria Hutchinson. Hazel Claxton there in the Bronx, New York. Sister Annette Morton, Brother Eustace Hendrickson, Brother De Romela Jeffords, Brother Douglas Shaw, DJ Marisha Productions, Beverly Marisha, Cora Bennett, Gwyneth Marisha, Jeff Roy Jr. there over in the LA area, my sister Esther in Tortola. I want to thank these people that have taken the time out and contribute to the effort of what I'm doing, because this week mark 9 weeks salary that we have provided for a worker at one of these decades that the government, I think, should have been taking care of under their STEP program instead of investing all this money in this piece. And now they call it Elevate. Grown man and woman who should be able to work in. They're putting money in their pocket every week, while the kids that need the help cannot get the help. As a matter of fact, I got some news today that another factory going to be closing down next week. I didn't even know there was a brush factory at the industrial site. I asked the person today, what is a brush factory? They make brush? But this is a whole bunch of people again getting sent home. And I want to know who the federal cabinet is really listening to, who they are paying attention to. Because they need to listen to the people in the communities, just as they went to the communities during the campaign to get the votes. When now you're in office, take some time out and come back to the community and speak to the people, and don't just take their names in a book and you're gone for months and nobody hear back from you. Give some updates. When I sit with a minister and present a case of need, and you're going to tell me you're doing something, I don't hear from you for days, and I reach out to you, give me an update, and you read my message and you don't respond. It's disrespectful. No matter how busy you are, when you need me, you know to reach me. I answer my phone. So your community is in need, the people is in need. I am working on behalf of the people. Give me that courtesy. Give me that response. Tell me I'm working on it. Whatever you want to tell me, but you are there for the people, not to play games. Back to you, Mr. Benter.
Brother Marisha, I'm listening. As every parent who brings a baby or a child in this world, we have a semblance of a protection that's worse than a mother hen with her chicks that she embraces and covers with her wings. So what I'm going to do here tonight, Mr. Marisha, I'm going to get off tonight. I want to know exactly about the program of the daycare, and we're going to make sure we don't know how many employees are in that place or how many children we're looking at that's in there, because there's a ratio to what we're going to provide to quell this burden, even though it's from the love of your heart, to get that institution funded. So how many teachers are we talking about?
With that place, based on the ratio, you need to have at least five. You need to have at least the children is about 26, so the ratio is 5 per. 5 per, and you got special needs.
Special needs, okay.
So which have special needs, you need the extra 1 or 2. So you're looking between 5 to 7.
5 to 7 employees.
Yeah.
20, 26 young souls. When we get off, I'll have some people make contact with you, and you shouldn't have to carry that load. I'm surprised that the government is not doing that. And on the brush program, you were mentioning how many people are working in that facility?
I got the information on my way coming to set up for the program this evening. So I did not really get the numbers, and I have to follow up with that. I really wish that I had got the numbers of employees, but I could not let this evening finish and don't mention it, because I heard 2 individuals that works there, and you could hear the pain, what they're going to do. Christmas is coming. They're going to be laid off work. You understand? So these are things that really touch me.
You got me. When you're speaking about children, a profound love when it comes to my people of the Caribbean. Not because I'm somewhere else right now, mean that I don't understand, because I came from a household where my parents' home was less than 8 by 5 in a sense, right? As far as measurement. We're understanding what it is as a little baby, a little young man, beginning to realize things and see how hard life can be and how people will step on you because you're not the A class, right? And I've heard you as you're speaking, but I didn't really understand that you were taken out of your own in a manner that you're doing without assistance from the government. Because when it comes to children, as they will say to them later, that they are their futures. And we are once a man, they say, and twice a child, they say. And these children will grow to become somebody, which they are right now in a profession, that you're going to need their services because you're now a child again. And this is what we're talking about. I'm going to work with you with this program, this 26 children. And if there's more, we're going to do what we need to. If it is that the citizens are taking over government's responsibility, and I hope that they're listening tonight. I'm outside and I'm saying I'm going to work with Marisha and get this thing rectified. And I assure you that tonight, that something will be done. This is ludicrous. And how do we speak in harmony? We speak about compassion and love to our people, but we don't even understand what the words mean by performance. Because we could say what we want, but are we showing it? Are we stepping up the plate to do it? And that's where we're going to go, Marisha. And I tell you, I'm happy that I heard you explain it verbatimly as you did right now. And I'm actually on the other side, and there's some individuals that are sending me some other things on the side. We need to get an idea of the numbers. We do that offline. We need to, okay. Are they government employees that are there now for the daycare?
No.
That's private. Okay, that's fine. And of course, they have the business, because moving funds of this magnitude and how we can move it requires that the entity is responsible and will make sure that the entity which employs these people does what's right by the government, and that the government give them some leniency in the taxes. Because you know, when it's got a wash pan to a certain degree, then the tax becomes heavy. But if this is a good cause for children, and that they could waive the taxes once these monies are tranched to this company, which I'll get the information. We're going to say EIN is US, the information for the tax purposes, so that they are taken care of in the amount for the taxes, and plus for, I don't think these are really the individual pension. I don't know how it works. I guess I may have to come back there and sit with you and sit with them. We worked it on the phone, but we're going to take care of it tonight when we get off this night.
I look forward to having you back, because you came in, it was so quick and out, and we really did not have a chance to really have a proper drink. We had a time, but not what we should have had. So I look forward to it. But Brother Benter, we've been talking for a while, and I love to marry my conversation with the music. My brother there out of TNT, Trinidad, Brother Crazy sing a song about family. I don't know if you heard this one. So for the viewers online and yourself, I would like you to take a listen to the lyrics in this song and you understand where we're going, and then we'll continue with the conversation.
Families, this is crazy. Let us get together and live as one. Family is life, family is love, family is living. Is the first gift that God gave to man from the very beginning. Is a chain of love and of strength and of power that keeps bonding us together, regardless of where you're from. Family is always welcome, but some families until death they live their life separate. All along life journey, dwelling in darkness and hate. No love sharing among each other, just a total disregard. That is nothing more than a hazard, and without family in life, it just get more hard. My God, it's so sad, so sad. Every day people asking me, crazy how you living so long. I just tell them, follow me around. Me and all my family is one. Crazy what it is you're eating that have you so healthy and strong. I just tell them, follow me around. Me and all my family is one. Love keep me alive, help me to survive is the reason why I was born. I was branded with a signature that derived from the name Iron. But some families don't live good at all. There's a dog-eat-dog thing with them. It's pure hate and venom they spewing, wishing each other lives could end. Preachers preaching behind their pulpits, contrast music has the same lyrics. They all said love is the key. That is why God first and then family. From now till eternity. Hey! Let us love each other. No distance should come between families. Nowhere on this planet there are no laws or no policies that have stood up against it. It's the spirit of love that keeps them connected from the time they were created. A symbol of unity, the works of the Almighty. But some families not conscious of the kind of life they live. In their dark desires, they think it's hard to forgive. They forget in man's imperfection that man does rise and man does fall. And that is the mystery of it all. When the family tie should be stronger than a wall. And that goes for one and all. Every day people asking me, crazy how you living so long. I just tell them, follow me around. Me and all my family is one. Crazy what it is you're eating that have you so healthy and strong. I just tell them, follow me around. Me and all my family is one. Love keep me alive, help me to survive is the reason why I was born. I was branded with a signature that derived from the name Iron. But some families don't live good at all. There's a dog-eat-dog thing with them. It's pure hate and venom they spewing, wishing each other lives could end. Preachers preaching behind their pulpits, conscious music has the same lyrics. They all said love is the key. That is why God first and then family. From now till eternity. Hey! World wars will decrease if the world promote family reunion. A special day should be given to celebrate this occasion. Cause I think this will work internationally to reunite every family, whether near or far away. A family holiday. We value families, they can be bought or cannot be sold. Like the royal status from since in the days of old. Multiplication was the order, and that was in the Father's plan. I say from the dawn of creation, family life is the one and true foundation for all the generations. Hey, every day people asking me, crazy how you living so long. I just tell them, follow me around. Me and all my family is one. Crazy what it is you're eating that have you so healthy and strong. I just tell them, follow me around. Me and all my family is one. Love keep me alive, help me to survive is the reason why I was born. I was branded with a signature that derived from the name Iron. But some families don't live good at all. There's a dog-eat-dog thing with them. It's pure hate and venom they spewing, wishing each other lives could end. Preachers preaching behind their pulpits, conscious music has the same lyrics. They all said love is the key. That is why God first and then family. I'm sure you'll agree with me, everybody.
Yeah, sounds of the man crazy. Family is love, family is everything. Man, St. Kitts Nevis is a lovely family. I enjoy being in the Federation. I enjoy coming here on a Wednesday evening and conversating. Some comments online here. I really appreciate their positive response. And I'm sorry to mention also two other contributors to the funds over the weeks is Sister Blanchett and Sister Libert. You know, everybody is doing the best that they can, but it's rough in the Federation. So let me say good evening to a few folks here online. Sister Hazel Claxton, good evening. Welcome to the ride. I'm Sergeant Pacino Hennessy. Brother Deacon Harold Jeffers, how are you doing, my brother? Good evening. My mascot, dear Sister Dorothy Allen, you reach. Monica McCall, Annette Morton, the Francis, welcome, Rutland Hill. Jeffrey Maynard, there's somebody, or Jeffrey Maynard. I wonder if there's somebody out there have my name. I have a little problem with that. Now, Jane Mills, good evening. How are you doing? Welcome. Everson Powell, welcome to the ride. Glenville Maloney. Lionel Woosie Rollins, how are you doing, my brother? Hope all is well. Jennifer Bratcher, Mauricia Saran, Kevin Dickinson, Janice Silcott, Ernest Webb, Mona Davis, good evening. Lynette DeGuire, welcome to the ride. Sister Pauline Swanson, how are you doing? Janice Carty, Anthony Woodley, Sarah Thompson, Bertram Farrell, Kevin Wilkin, welcome to the ride. My brother Triple X Vincent, how are you doing? How is things there in Tortola? Sister Haley Phipps Tennant, how are you doing? How is things over there in the Scotland area? How about my brother there, Ambassador Queely? How is things in the Morocco area? Brother Sinclair Ward, Kitchen King, Yasmin France, Be Rich, Selena Tobias, how are you doing, my girl? Everything good? Judy Cornelius, welcome to the ride. Leroy Prokop, Rambo Webster, how are you doing, brother man? Margaret Skeet, Seven Huggins, Angel Doe, Barbara Edwards, good evening, welcome to the ride. Hope all is well. You know, Barbara, I forget to send some greetings to your niece there. Let me say a quick hello to my girl there, Emmeline and her husband. They're celebrating their anniversary tomorrow. Carolyn and Brother Cecil, the daughter and son-in-law of Brother Conce Edwards, they'll be celebrating their anniversary tomorrow. And according to Sister Barbara, the last time she saw her brother alive was at that wedding reception. Sad thing, huh? Jacquit, good evening. How are you doing? Welcome. Loretta Wharton, how is things there in the UK? Brother Rufus Z. Williams, how are you doing, Brother Magnum? Are you in Florida? Are you in the Antigua? Where are you? Are you on a cruise ship someplace? Julie Farrell, Elvis Marisha, Desmond Claxton, how are you doing? King Chubby, all is well? Marvin Phillip, welcome to the ride. Yvonne Jeffers, how about Sister? What her name is there again? Millie. Sister Sandra, how are you doing? Hope all is well with you guys in the UK. Yes, and Tafari, Randa Brown, Mansfield Walters, Miller Farms, how are you doing? Esther Dieter Markman, how are you doing? How is things there in the UK? Jessica Lewis. I can't call all these names tonight, folks. You know, I'm going to just run through a few because I made a promise I'll be out of here at 8 p.m. on the spot tonight. I cannot go overtime. So I hope Brother Ivor Henry over there, don't dare him and Thaddeus Depos were cooking up nothing for me to go overtime. He ain't going to be tonight. Julian Pemberton, good evening, my brother, with Brother Austin Williams. Brother Leroy Thompson, Dal Hanley, Livingston Brown, welcome to the ride. Ermin Evelyn, Anthony Liberd, Damian Jeffries, how are you doing? Casilda Francis, Cindy, JQ, my son there, Brother J. Roy Mauritia Jr., there in the LA area. How is Sister Jazz doing? Hope all is well. Chester Watson, welcome to the ride. Sister Natalie Carty there in St. Thomas, Virginia. That's my favorite cousin there, okay? How is Caroline, ma'am? Hope all is good. Sister Beverly Marisha, welcome to the ride. Sophia Warner, Pamela Hodge, Vanetta Taylor, Sister Lynn, Thelma Griffith, Joyce Warner Webb, Sister Anelta Robinson, good evening, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Trevor Cornelius, the man Cabo, welcome to the ride, hope all is well. Trendy Francis, Cordell Walters, you found me, welcome to the ride. Where's Brother Melvin Herbert? Hope all is well, Brother Calvin Hazel. Hope all is well with you. William Pemberton, Sweetness Hudson, you've been here? You've been missing for a while. Welcome to the ride. Fisher Stapleton, Imelda Grant, Jermaine Anthony, Caraman Brown, Brother George Nisbet, hanging out somewhere around the world. Inat Smithon, how are you doing? Hope all is well with you. Brother Duncan, Big Lies, what are you doing, my brother? You got me confused in a Big Lies. 1 minute I'm getting news that your kitchen is up and running. And when I plan to come get a little lunch or dinner, I'm getting news that the place closed, and I'm getting news again that is open. So please confirm, put something in the thread. Let the people know, put a flyer or something in the thread for me tonight. Let us know that your place is up and running, that I can come and get some of that lovely food that you do on that side. I really, every time I come there at your place, I really do enjoy the food I get there. So drop something in the thread, but the big lights. Nafidos Ramjit. Hilla Brown, welcome to the ride. Valerie Hilton, Mark Doe, Eustace Adams, Cecil Hobson, Valina Ali. Vailina Ali, how are you doing? Welcome to the ride. Arivi Todo, Father Asim Martin, welcome to the ride. Good to know you can find this podcast. Ivan Mully, Jesse Barnes, Shirley Knighton, how are you doing? Clayton Davis, Nadine Douglas, Valentin Buchanan, Petrina Ballet, welcome to the ride. Verena Keynes, Winston Connor. Well, folks, Brother Arville Francis, like I said, I can't call all his name tonight. Sister Naomi Ward, welcome. Amigo Keynes, Brother Elvis Williams, aka the King Freddy, Brother Trevor Zakers, the man there, they call Dudy, how are you doing? Dudy, all is well? Loretta Tyson, Hugh Coleman, Brother Billy, that's Brother Zakers there, Brother Billy, Monica Brown, Kimball Warner, Marlene Cross, how are you doing? Well, Brother Benter, I cannot go through all of these names tonight for sure. I'll be here all night. So I'm going to be getting ready in a bit to drop one or two more tracks. I don't know if you want to say
Sure,
anything now or after.
Sure, dude. But what you don't realize is there's a lot of people follow me wherever I go, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have a gentleman by the name of Corey Hebert. He's the chief at the Louisiana State University and the Louisiana Hospital, and he's going to join us sometime next week. They are thinking, based on what we're saying, in coming in and building a hospital in St. Kitts. Here's the other one. We have the group, and what do you get this name? His name is Shad Khan, who's listening as well. And those who hear the name Shad Khan, you research it, but he's one of the Jacksonville's Jaguar football team, and he's listening to the issue with the daycare. And he as well is thinking, and will be thinking about certain things for St. Kitts. Then we have the other entity that deals with a floating power ship. And Karen, her name is Karen, who represents a company out of Turkey. And one of the discussions we were talking about with SGN, with the power and so forth, and the light, some light you spoke about some time ago that's blown by your house or something.
My light bulb's still out after 3 months. I'm still in the dark.
So they have what you call power ships. And she was asking me what the needs for St. Kitts would be based on power. What they do is there's a ship that's a power plants.
Okay.
They're pulling to harbors, and from ship to shore, they provide power. Right now, one is in Guyana, and they are providing power from the ship to the power plant, starting at 7 cents a kilowatt hour. So as this carry on, like I said, the government doesn't even know who you have on your show with you. But these are some of the individuals that are offering. One is university, one is a hospital, Corey Hebert, the other one is a power ship. And Shad Khan, I'll get with him and see what he's thinking about as far as he heard about the daycare, so he's also thinking of something. So you got some people listening to you.
Well, I have said to the Prime Minister on more than one occasion, and I think he's well aware of that. He has an understanding that the little black boy from St. Paul's might be a little in person, but I spread my wings wide, and there are people that reach out to me from time to time, but out of embarrassment, I don't even engage them. Right. Because when you have someone who is serious about making a serious contribution, and you're going to pick up a phone and call or message the Prime Minister, and you don't hear from them for God knows how long, or you're going to try to reach the deputy, or you're going to try to reach the AG, or you try to reach one of their advisors, and the advisors can't even give you a straight answer. I mean, I throw up my hands. In the past 2 years since this government was elected, partner, there has been so much things that passed through my hands that I had to just let it slide because the embarrassment of trying to tell people I'm waiting to hear from this, I'm waiting to hear from that. Oh, give me a few minutes, I'm going to get back to you. Look at how long it took me to get a meeting set up for you. Something as important and as urgent as that. You know? So, my good people of St. Kitts Nevis, I mean, we are the one that have to lead the charge, you know. Because these elected members, once they get into office and they organize themselves, if you look like they don't understand why they was put there. They forget what they campaign and they forget their mandate. Yeah, Brother Benter.
So I'll say, I tell you. So you just mentioned something, I didn't touch on it as far as meetings, because these programs require the government's participation and sites. So things are moving really fast here. Hopefully a meeting can be structured outside of the other avenue with them and whoever is a voice. We make some calls tomorrow. If they answer, they don't, we just keep it moving.
Yeah, well, I think at this point in time, you know, yes, the government has to sign off on certain things, but I can say to you, I am at this point in my life where if people are serious about coming in to do whatever beneficial for the country and the government is not moving, I put the people right on the case right here. You know. We're going to have to do what we have to do because the country need help. The people need relief. And I'm not going to continue to allow us to lose out because somebody out there not paying attention. Changing a government does not mean the country will change, you know. So I'm going to drop one more track. It's just about 2 minutes before, well, 22 minutes before the hour of 8. And I'm not going on no overtime with you tonight, Brother Benter. So I'm going to drop this track by my boy, Brother Sire. No change until.
There's no change until we work on no problem. Come with I. We want a change, that's the cry through the federation. Changing a government does not mean this country will change. Every 5 years, it's a government change. But their country does always remain the same. They don't still have drugs and crime in the country. They don't still have guns and teenage pregnancy. Change your government is not the solution. Citizens, we have to start to live together as one. We have to start to think about unity. I for you and you for me. That is how this country should be. So if we really wanna change the region, we have to start to see some good things happen. Say like this, when we go and tell our children, say no to drugs, guns and violence, then this country will change. I say then this country will change. When we see Simmons having breakfast one morning in town with you Douglas, then this country will change. I say then this country will change. When we stop all of this drug trafficking, then we would see the change. Changing up of one government does not mean the country does change. Citizens, do you understand? Do you get my message now? Do you? Come with I. We always go and create problems in our country. Then we want our government to come and solve it for we. If a bad man, he go out and bring in gun, why we should go and blame it on our government? We would go and say, if our party was ever ruling, those kind of things would never be happening. Change your attitude, I'm asking you, citizen. It's we the people who does pull our country down. This is time to straighten up our land. Live in peace and harmony. We got to respect the Constitution. So if we really wanna change in this island, we have to start to work on our problems. Say like this, when we see Timothy and Hailey go saying Merry Christmas to each other, then this country would change. I said then this country would change. When we stop import foreign items and sell local goods to the tourists them, then this country would change. I said then this country would change. If we turn our back on the sugar cane, then you will see the change. Changing up of one government does not mean the country would change. Citizen, do you understand? Do you get my message now? Do you hear me? Come with I. We gone to the poll and we voting a new government. Then after 2 years, there's a lot of cussing for them. When things going good, we smile and take it easy. When things going bad, we build from the canary. We does regret that we ever vote in that party. When we see things is not going too good for we. Yes, it's we who have to turn this country around. Citizen, we don't have to wait upon no politician. Why must wait till 5 years for election? It's today we do it wrong. It's today we should correct them. So if we really wanna change in the region, we have to start to make the change on our own. Like this, when we build our one new hospital and build more school for the children them, this country will change. I said then this country will change. When we put down some more good hotels and prepare our land for tourism, this country will change. I said then the country will change. When you pick Saya in finals again, then you would see the change. Changing up of one government does not mean the country would change. Do you get the message? Lord and Atlet, do you get the message? Do you get the message? K-young people, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Sandy Pine, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Simple people, do you get the message? Do you get the message? Tabernacle, do you get the message? Do you get the message, Canary? Do you get the message? Do you get the message, Molyneux? Do you get the message? Do you get the message, Newtown people? Do you get the message? Do you get the message, village people? Do you get the message? Do you get the message, Sadler's people? Do you get the message?
Yeah, that's the King Sire there. Yeah, Brother Benter, well, there's a few folks trying to call me, but when I'm online, I cannot answer the phone. So if someone want to say hi, they would have to come to Zoom. You have the, tap the screen there, open your mic. You have the ID. You can pass it on. Tap the screen, open your mic. Brother Benter, tap the screen, open your mic. Okay, while you're trying to organize yourself there, I guess you're doing like...
This way for now. Brother Marisha?
Yes, sir.
Right, it's hard to get him from where he's at right now, but this is just something from my phone that can hear him, and we get him connected with us next week. All right?
Yeah, no problem. Next week is fine, but
yeah, you good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, I did. It's Dr. Abear. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I am, trying to do some medical tourism. We have a huge ability to be able to do some medical tourism in a hospital, build a hospital with a public-private partnership where the land, if we can get the land, then we can build whatever we need to build. Big from New Orleans, I remember Hurricane Katrina, so we built a $2 billion hospital with basically just the land, and then been able to do it in a way so that it will be sustainable. A lot of times things aren't sustainable when you do these in the country, but we have the ability to do that. So I'm a physician, but I do a lot of business around the world, and so if you guys are interested in wanting to do that, as well as be able to get some, some folks from St. Kitts to be able to get some free education at Louisiana State University. I'm faculty there, as well as Tulane University, so we can train people and then keep them in the hospital to make it, once again, sustainable. Then I'm looking to do that. So if you're looking to have something like that, we should have a sit down and discuss that.
Okay, and Dr. Eber, he's running at the same time and trying to do the double edge for me for this brief introduction. But I'll have him on with us next week. Yes, Bermershaw, you saying them?
Yeah, I was saying that if he's available next week, he can come on. Let's have a chat via Zoom.
Sure.
It will be better reception.
Yes.
And we take it from there. Anything to help our country and our people, we welcome it.
Thank you. Okay, Brother Corey, Abear, we want to thank you. I know you're taking care of some matters, but next week I'll get you situated so we can do this so they can see who you are.
Yes, sir. We'll make it happen.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. It was one of those things where, as you know, all right?
Yeah.
And the mysticism of some things, all right? Like I said, when you sit in front of people and you hear, they're wondering who you are, what you have you. But Dr. Abear is a very close physician to Oprah Winfrey. And as such, they have built many, many hospitals and universities in different places of the Caribbean. As you heard him mention, if all goes well with the government of St. Kitts, you're talking about free education. However, in a lot of investors look at how the government treat other investors, right? And how they compile their actions based on what they've been doing. And some of what we talk about, the Citizen by Investment program, which was so eloquent to have. Now you have the different walks of investors that's listening. And of course, now the questions will be, how have you treated your other investors? So this is something that you got to look at the trend. In speaking with him and him telling me, I know that he has not looked at what's going on with the CBI program per se. But the record of fact, when investors begin to look at how you treat individuals in the program, it becomes something that pushes off investors. As you said, they would pay for the education. For individuals who want to go into the medical clinician at no cost to the family, the state, or to the person. This is serious discussions that are being had here. So I know you got some other things to do, but he was insistent. He wanted to get in. His name is Corey Hebert. Anyone have a question? Go up a line, go YouTube, you'll see who he is. Shad Khan, see who he is, see who he is for yourself. Don't leave it up to me. I'm nobody based on what some people within your government and St. Kitts thinks. But at the same time, moving industry and moving business, alike with all of the other things that of which I came in to pretty much facilitate on what was going on. So you can have these sort of developers come in. You respect the others that you have that's in hand, bird in hand, in the bush, you'll say, right? Is you never know how much you're gonna get after. So
Yeah,
dedication.
yeah, Brother Benter, as I said, I'm going past 8 o'clock tonight, and my unofficial anthem for the Federation is 7 minutes, 22 seconds. So we have exactly 8 seconds, actually 8 minutes to roll with. So I'm going to jump right into the unofficial anthem of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis by the late, great, the King Arrow. This one is called Arise. So let me big up my boy, DJ Rabuka, Sister Gwyneth Mawisha. Take a listen to the lyrics. I know the music is sweet. The dancing you might want to do, but check the
Would you stand up and see your country dying and never lend a helping hand? Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency? Building a brand new nation, we'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise, the country is yours, all yours. unification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother, cannot love each other. No, I say no, potato. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct our mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, and that's it for tonight. Right on the dot there, brother Benter. 8 p.m. and I'm out of here. I'll talk to you in a few. Let me get myself organized here as I download and upload to YouTube for my YouTube listeners. So I'll talk to you in a bit. Well, my good people, it was nice hanging with you all for yet another evening. 8 o'clock on the hour and I'm out of here. So God blessings on everyone. Look forward to seeing you. Same place here next Wednesday.